Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a great day. It is March 17th, and today I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about, today's actually a special video because first high risk we've had in around 2 years uh, has been issued from the Storm Prediction Center. So that's going to be kind of the main focus of today's video. We're going to be talking about that, and we're also going to look at tomorrow because tomorrow is going to continue this tornado outbreak. It's going to be a little bit further to the east, but we're going to still have a chance of seeing maybe some strong tornadoes tomorrow. Then we're just gonna talk about when our next severe weather event can be. We're not gonna talk much about that considering we're still on our first one or on this one, but we're gonna kind of look at that a little bit at the end of the video. So as you guys can see, we do have a high risk. We have the magenta banner across the top of the screen. When you go to the Storm Prediction Center's home screen, and you can see the outlook right here. We have PDS tornado watches out inside of that high risk and even in the moderate. The high risk right now, this is the 9 p.m. update. Birmingham is in it, Tuscaloosa, Hoover, Alabama, Vestavia Hills, and Bessemer, Alabama. I don't know how to say that. And then in the moderate risk goes right to the Georgia-Alabama border. Goes up to a little bit of extreme southern Tennessee, and also is in a little bit of eastern Tennessee or Mississippi. Sorry. And we also have our enhanced risk is pretty much like that, but the slight risk goes into Missouri due to kind of a second little area for severe weather right to the northeast of the low. Sorry. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at tonight. Very significant high risk though. Sorry. We have a 30 sig tornado risk. We actually did have a 45 sig tornado risk. You're right in this area earlier, so that's significant. We have a 45 sig wind and a 30 sig hail threat. So today has been a significant day so far. We've already had some strong tornadoes, some of which I think have been violent. I know we've had a few injuries. I'm unsure if we've had any deaths or not today, but I know we've had injuries. And tomorrow, it looks like this is just going to continue. It looks like today is going to be the worst, but tomorrow we do have a moderate risk from Georgia and the South Carolina into North Carolina. And along with that, we have a large 15% significant risk, so which is in that hatched area. We have a 45 sig wind threat and a 30 sig hail threat tomorrow. And then day 3, it looks like this is all going to calm down. We're going to a more quieter pattern for a little bit for Friday. So that's good now. You can take a look at this whole storm system on satellite. It looks pretty good. Looks like we have our low probably about right there. And cold front like this, occluded front set up like this, and to the north of that we have some storms in southwestern Missouri. And we had a little bit around the Oklahoma City area, in the Tulsa area, with large hail right around that surface low. And then in front of this cold front, we have our significant severe weather. We had a ton of supercells in Alabama, Mississippi today. It was just really cool to look at. Let's actually look at radar right now. So right now we have one tornado warning, and that is for almost Tuscaloosa. I would go live for the rest of this. I don't have time, which is why I'm just doing a video. So we can take a look at velocity. We don't have a whole lot of rotation with this. Maybe a little bit. Pretty broad, though not significant rotation. But if you live in Tuscaloosa, this is kind of going to get close to you. This part of the line that is tornado warned right now. We have a supercell right to the northwest of Montgomery as severe warned. Looks pretty good on radar. Or on reflectivity, sorry. And we have a little bit of broad rotation. Apparently not enough for a tornado warning, though. So that is good. And we go further up the north. We said this is just a strong line with a lot of damaging winds. And even some flooding. We've had a lot of storms training over each other. We had in southwestern Alabama, we had a bunch of supercells just training over one another for a good couple hours. And that was just a lot of heavy rain. And even in Missouri, we have some flash flooding. We had a lot of storms training over each other by Springfield and Joplin. Now we have a bowing out line that is warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds going towards Hartville and Mountain Grove. And with that, there's not really any rotation with us, so that's good. So that's what we have going on for radar right now. Just an incredible storm system. First time we've had a high since May 20th, 2019. I remember that day. This is the second high risk since I started this channel. The first one we didn't really track at all. But yeah, so let's go ahead and start forecasting tomorrow a little bit. So you can see our line tracks through Alabama. The first part kind of weakens. We have like in eastern Alabama, we have a second line form kind of right behind it. And then that line tracks into Georgia, goes through Atlanta at around kind of in the 5 to, let's say 5 to 9 a.m. time frame. And then moves to the east, goes through Athens at around 7 to 10 a.m. Goes through Macon also at that time. And then moves into South Carolina and kind of strengthens a little bit throughout the day. And now up in West Virginia, maybe even Southern Ohio, I'm watching this. We could maybe have some supercells develop in this area right by the surface low. Now this sounding, it's not, we have pretty bad dew points. It's only a severe sound, but this could support some severe weather. We have decent surface lapse rates, and not a whole lot of shear, but not terrible, I guess. It's pretty bad though. So yeah, we're probably going to see some severe weather in that area with the tornado risk mainly across the Carolinas and Georgia. But we could see some tornadoes up in West Virginia in that area. Now this is a sounding in the southeast, and we have, this is pretty good sounding. Moist. It's a moist sounding. We have winds veering of height. Of course, we have that a lot with these soundings, and these soundings. Look at the Hodo though. That Hodo is just really nice. There's been a lot of really nice soundings with really good Hodos for today and tomorrow. I've noticed I've taken a ton of soundings that have really nice looking Hodos. And we take a sounding in South Carolina. Pretty good sounding, winds veering of height. Hodo looks decent also, actually pretty good. So I can see why we have a moderate risk tomorrow. I think it was a good call from the Storm Prediction Center. So yeah, we're not going to really talk about tomorrow too much because, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time tonight. Let's go ahead and move on to the northeast, because once the storm system gets in the northeast, Friday night, or actually Thursday night, we're going to have cold air coming south from two high pressures. Not terribly strong. We're not going to have a ton of cold air in that area. Just enough to push further south. Then we could have some rain switch over to snow in areas like Albany. Albany might actually be all snow for this event. Well, no, Albany is going to start off and get a few hours of rain. Actually, several hours of rain potentially. Then switch over to snow probably after sunset. Then we actually have some patches of heavy snow briefly mixing in southeastern New York, Connecticut, maybe northern Rhode Island, and Massachusetts before. It's all gone around Friday morning, with maybe just some leftover showers by Friday at noon, or snow showers, sorry. Then also we could have maybe a secondary area on the backside of this low where we have a little bit of moisture. Could see some snow for areas like Washington, D.C. Friday morning, maybe southern Maryland and southern Delaware. So yeah, and then our next storm system, this could be our next severe weather chance, really. It's this one right here. It comes out Monday the 22nd. Now I can go ahead and look at moisture here. Let's go out to Monday the 22nd. And we're going to look at moisture. You can see we don't have a terrible amount of moisture in this area, or we don't have a lot of moisture. We only have dews in the 50s, 60s, limited mainly to southern Texas. But we have our surface low here, maybe a severe threat with this. If we can have steep enough lapse rates, some large hail, and maybe a damaging wind threat also. Then that low moves quickly to the northeast, and by this time it's uncertain if we're even going to have severe weather with it. This storm system may not produce a whole lot of severe weather as of right now, but maybe it kind of opens up a big warm sector across Dixie again with a lot of moisture by late next week. And we have a low, actually. We have a cold front come through, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a severe weather outbreak. Maybe it's kind of late next week. Maybe not an outbreak. Maybe another severe weather event late next week for maybe like the Ohio Valley, and Dixie, and maybe even into the Mid-Atlantic. So wouldn't be surprised if that happens as we go into next week. But it looks like the pattern is going to kind of quiet down for a little bit after around Friday. And we'll start to enter a more quiet pattern for this weekend and maybe next week until around early next week. around early next week, our pattern kind of gets disturbed again in the central and eastern U.S. by the other storm system. We go back to Monday. See, we have that storm system like that, and then we have another one right there. Now, that second one looks better for severe weather. Just by looking at dudes, I can already tell it looks better for some kind of severe weather event. But that's about this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry I can't live stream today. But I have a ton of schoolwork to do, and I can't stay up too late tonight. Because I have to get up very early in the morning. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. But yes, bye.